Welcome back, everybody. Today's topic, we're going to talk about Dark Envoy. This just released about a month ago on Steam. I believe it's on GOG as well. And it is a real-time with pause game that is developed by Event Horizon Limited. This game does a lot of things right. It stumbles on a couple of things, but overall, I have had a phenomenal experience with it. And I can't believe this game isn't being talked about more because it is a really great experience priced phenomenally compared to a lot of other AAA titles that are released in a state of garbage and are priced twice the price of Dark Envoy. So let's get right into this, why I think Dark Envoy is a great fit. Firstly, let's talk about the most important thing. This is the combat. So the combat is a real-time with pause. It's really cool. So when you're fighting an enemy, you're fighting a boss, you're able to do one of two different things. You can either pause the fight, set up some moves, some actions while it's paused, or you can slow it down. I feel like most of the time when I was playing this game, I was pretty much slowing down the fight as opposed to pausing it. However, I found that pausing fights was really good. When you got yourself into a sticky situation, maybe you're surrounded by 5, 6, 7, 8 enemies, and you don't really know who you're gonna move, where you're gonna move, what ability you're gonna use. That is a really good thing. You're able to kind of pause, freeze the frame of where you are in that fight, develop some kind of a tactic, and then go on with it. Now, right now, most of the footage that you're seeing here is in the first 5, 6, 7 hours of gameplay, where I'm only controlling 2 different characters. You're gonna be able to control up to 4 characters in your party. That's gonna be a lot of jumping from character to character. What I think I loved about the combat the most is the fact that there are so many varied abilities. You pretty much have 4 or 5 different abilities per character, and you're swapping between 1, 2, 3, up to 4 different characters in your party. The combat can get pretty exhilarating and pretty intense at times, right? Especially if you're not used to, pretty much having your left hand dancing consistently as you're toggling abilities, switching characters, toggling abilities, switching characters, moving people. It's a lot of fun. Now let's talk a little bit about what Dark Envoy didn't do too well, and that is the cutscenes. So we're gonna jump right into the cutscenes right here, and let's have a quick listen.
Hey, who goes there?
More scavengers?
Boss, we got company.
So I see.
Calm down, Jeremy.
So you can kind of see the animations, they seem a little bit off. The voice acting isn't very good. What I do like about it is the fact that you're able to do story choices. So basically, what you choose influences the future of your gameplay. So you get a lot of replayability in your gameplay with these story choices. But because the cutscenes are done so poorly, I feel like they almost detract from the value of this game. I would have almost preferred it if it was just, you give me some text after a fight and be like, this boss was defeated. Now our heroes are making their way to the town for the meeting with blank. That would have been a little bit better in my opinion. Now we talk again about something that Dark Envoy did really well, and that is attributes, skills, and further character development. So in the attribute system, you have might, speed, endurance, power, and mastery. Now, as you put points in those different categories, once you reach a threshold like 10, 15 points in that category, you get a bonus in that category. So that's really cool. The skill systems, they're also pretty, in-depth. You have maybe 20, 30 different skills that you could potentially choose from and upgrade in those skill trees. I think that's enough when you are controlling 4 different characters, right? And you're able to have different classes synergize with each other, right? Like one class might poison, and then the other class will get damage boosts off of dealing damage to somebody who's poisoned, for example. So there's a lot of synergies that can happen that way. Further, in the customization of your characters, you're also able to do what's called research. So this research, you get these research points a lot of times inside dungeons or in the main dungeons, and you're able to improve your characters permanently, increasing the amount of health they do, increasing the amount of things you can craft, so on and so forth. And as you can see here, there's quite a lot of different tabs that you can do to fully research out your characters. On top of that, there's crafting. So crafting your weapons, as you increase the amount of things you can research, you will increase the amount of things you can craft as well. You can craft different rarities, and once you craft something, they come with some statistics. Now, let's say you don't like those statistics, you can select the one you don't like. You can then re-roll that statistic and keep re-rolling it as long as you have the resources to do so. And then hopefully you get the statistic that you're looking for on that weapon. Now, I think that's really good because not only does the game give you a lot of really good weapons and a lot of really good armors for you to potentially build your very unique character build with, you're also able to craft things if you just don't get that drop. And I think that is fantastic. So in terms of player customizability, this is a 10 out of 10. The combat is a 10 out of 10. So far, so good. Now, in the game, there's also kind of a central hub. It's your town, right? In this central hub, there's going to be vendors you can talk to. There's going to be NPCs that you can talk to. It's not very in-depth. There's, you know, maybe only like 5, 6, 7 different people in that town, but it's enough. The point isn't to really spend a lot of time in this place, but to kind of sell things from your inventory, to progress, you know, side quests and side stories. Sometimes you're even gonna get items from NPCs from those side quests that you have done, and you can then equip them, and you know, sometimes they're quite good. They're going to be a lot better than what you potentially have on your character. So I definitely suggest doing those side quests. There's no downside for them. In the open world, you basically have a choice between main quests and side dungeons. In these side dungeons, I gotta say it's a little bit underwhelming. I've done probably 5 or 6 at this point. I don't really know why they exist. It feels like just a lot of open space and not enough enemies. And I think the issue with these side dungeons is it's just filler, right? So these side dungeons are to help you level up, to help you get more items, to help you get more gold, for example, so that you can then do a main quest and not really struggle with it. But these side dungeons, they're not very good. So I'd say kind of this is like a negative point for Dark Envoy. But overall, I have nothing but good things to say about Dark Envoy. This has been a very good game for me, you know, kind of like a 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. Even with the kind of terrible cutscenes and the pointless side dungeons, I think the combat really shines and the player customizability is absolutely incredible. So this is definitely a recommend from my part. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. The support really is appreciated. And I will catch you guys next time. See ya.